Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Authentically Albertan. Here we are in December 2024 with Dr. Anmol. How are you?
Not bad. Thank you so much, Nico, for having me.
And what projects have you been working on lately?
Well, there are many projects I'm working on healthcare and non-healthcare side. And on the healthcare side, I work on BioArrow, a company that specializes into genomics, which is the new medicine, or actually is the medicine. I define it as a cardiologist. Where you look into deep dive into your DNA, you deep dive into your microbiomics, the bacteria that live in your body, on your skin. And as we age, they also age, or sometimes they do age us faster. Sometimes they make us cause diseases, diabetes, mental health, cancer, so many of those things, right? So understanding what lives in our body, what we make up of it. So that's genomics. So you BioArrow deep dive into that, where we work with AI and getting a large amount of data and accurately try to predict how someone will have a disease, what kind of drugs they will respond better, drugs which are not good, they should not take it. So many of those things, like improving the healthcare, improving health outcomes is very important because the medicine we practice today is not the right medicine. The medicine is usually like a more of a hit and trial approach, or maybe trial and hit approach, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So you try and see it works, it doesn't work, try again, doesn't work, try again. But I never look an answer why. So that intrigued me. Hey, let's looking for more answers. So and then in non-healthcare side, we are into blockchain technologies, where we do have a layer 1 blockchain network live. We are launching our data storage platform. You'll be able to back up your pictures through blockchain, your files through blockchain, have more privacy, and providing extra layer of encryption, so giving less chance for the data to get hacked. So many of those areas we're working into communication side, into secure chatting side using blockchain technologies. So all those areas I'm excited about it. That all leads us in the future towards quantum science. So that I'm learning and looking forward to deep diving into quantum and see how we could make everyone's lives better.
That's what intrigued me when I was researching about you. I love genetics. I remember when I took biology back in high school, my favorite unit was genetics. And it was just because it's amazing to see these different ways that you can see how different genes affect the body, like phenotypes, for example. They come from the gene expressions that happen. So I was fascinated by those types of things when I studied biology in science. And what you're doing with genetics, I think it's great, especially on the side of the, correct me if I'm using the wrong word, the pharmacogenetics?
Pharmacogenomics.
That one. But I think it's great that you're looking and seeing which medicine works for the right person based on their genes. Because it's true. A lot of what you said is true. A lot of it is hit and miss. And, some medicine, it's good for one thing, but there's also another side effect. Yeah. Like if you have too much of this medicine, sure, you're going to get rid of your illness, but you might also destroy your liver. Yes. And finding the right one through the genes, basing it on an individual cases rather than just general, I think it's great.
Oh, I think it is great, and it should be the medicine practice that way. I don't think so. We should be in the era. I have run out of excuses. I don't know why doctors still today have to practice medicine blindly. Why there is still healthcare, there's no one pushing in this area in Canada. I am finding it, except our company and some other colleagues along the way. But majority people are still doing the medicine the wrong way. So giving anyone a medication, one A, B, C, D, and then a person has some side effect, patient goes back to the doctor, patient doesn't like the medication, stop taking the medication because of side effect, and we ignore it. And then disease progresses further, and in the end, patient pays the price. A human life is lost. And we understand we did not have the resources before, but when a company like BioArrow and other companies are offering these services, when we can look into our own genome, DNA, and understand how we metabolize the drugs. So there's a field of science which is quite growing significantly. Europe has taken a lead in this area. UK, Spain, and many global movement happening in this world. So why is that? Because many patients do get a side effect. Me as a cardiologist, when prescribe it, not knowing, someone gave us an aspirin, or give a statin, a blood cholesterol medication, and we know that many people will not respond to aspirin. We're still giving it. So what happened is they will not respond, and we're still giving them. They get ulcer in the stomach, and they have bleeding problems and have other side effects. And we accept that, oh, that's okay. But please take the baby aspirin. Me as a cardiologist, I recommend it, right?
Yeah. Some of them might be like, okay, so you're not responding. Let me give you a higher dose to see if you respond to it.
Yes, exactly, right? So same way, lots of people cannot metabolize statins, which is a cholesterol-lowering medication, the right way. And sometimes we keep giving them, and they still have the disease progressing. They're not responding. There are other genes that are activating, causing blockages in the heart arteries. And the same way in oncology or in rheumatology, you name a healthcare field, there are medication we're giving, and patients are suffering with those side effects.
Are there any type of genetic conditions that patients could have that affect these? Could you give us some examples?
Yeah, so for example, aspirin. So every 7th or 10th person in Canada will not respond to aspirin.
And that's a genetic.
Yes, because how they're metabolizing it.
Is there like a name for that genetic condition?
Yeah, so well, name is basically we call non-responders. So non-responders because of the type of mutation they have, and they'll not respond to aspirin. And the same way, there are people who have a mutation in their gene called PCSK9 gene. So PCSK9 gene essentially, what does it? It activates a different part of the pathway and start to make high cholesterol in someone's body. If you keep giving them statins, they're not going to respond to it in the right way. They may also have side effects, and then they will have a disease progression blockage happening. Every 5th person in Canada has a little LPA mutation. So because of the LPA levels are higher in their body. So you keep giving them statins, but it's not going to help them much. So that's why knowing the genetics, knowing the genes, and knowing how the drugs react with them, if we know all this information, we give the right drug at the right time. People are able to tolerate the right dosages. They don't have any side effects. We save money in healthcare. We save lives.
Yeah, exactly. Because what you say happens a lot. They're given the wrong medication or too much of that medication, and then boom, they end up with another problem. Or it cures the original problem, but now they're going to deal with another one.
Exactly. So that's what happened in heart patients. So you put a stent in, so now you have to give them blood thinners. So before that, you don't have a disease. Now you give them different disease. Now you get multiple other drugs along the way because they could have a complication from the stent. So same way, there's always any action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if we know, once we have the tools today, I can understand 10 years ago it was very difficult to understand. I can understand medicine 20 years ago was totally different when I was studying in medical school. But now today, a doctor, if you have to prescribe medication blindly, and there's a tool available that allows us to understand pharmacogenomics, how their body will react, and we don't use it, I don't understand what excuse the doctor has. Because in the end, morally, ethically, we have to provide the best care to our patients, best knowledge to our patients. And the government and the public healthcare system has to be providing the best healthcare solution to them too. So they should not be living or delivering healthcare today based on old medicine. When the new data is available, sequencing is available, we can download our DNA. We know much more now why we are still delivering healthcare the old way. It's still the old ways. Look at UK. They have taken a lead in pharmacogenomics at a family medicine level. They looked at how you can use pharmacogenomic science for patient prescribed for antidepressants. Because if you're going to take a depression medication, everyone is equal. And personally, if you ask me, there is the same way happened when the depression medications came out. We had too many people with depressions, and now we have a lot of people with ADHD. So before COVID, I rarely would have seen someone with ADHD. Now I'm seeing common patients getting referred to our clinics. Well, we have ADHD diagnosed by a doctor, and doctor says you want to make sure you're okay from a cardiology perspective, and I want to prescribe this medication. So the patient says, I'm okay. I said, how do I know you're okay or not okay? And first of all, I don't even know you have a true ADHD because there's a huge overdiagnosis happening, in my opinion. I don't think so we have that much ADHD population. And then if you have ADHD, there is no way a doctor can tell by looking in your eyes or reviewing your file or ECG, hey, you will react favorably from this medication. Unless you do a pharmacogenomic analysis, it is okay, you can take a try. If it doesn't hurt you, maybe it's good. I'm seeing that people are getting ADHD diagnosed in their 30s, in their 40s. When I get referred to us, not like they're in the child age, they are well grown up adults, and someone they go see, they have some maybe underlying anxiety, maybe they have some other challenges going on in their life. And what we're doing, doctors are doing is diagnosing as ADHD. And I think there's a lot of that happening, the way it happened in depression era. A lot of antidepressants got prescribed. I think a lot of ADHD getting overdiagnosed. Depression does have a link to genetics. Schizophrenia has a very strong link to genetics. So we do understand many mental health disorders do play a role in that. And also there is a role of how we manage our pain. There's also genetics involved with that. So for example, there is no way of categorizing a pain. So if I'm going to hit you and you're in a pain, so your pain threshold, the way I'll ask you, Nico, how much pain do you have? So you may say 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10, depending on what you feel. So there's no measuring scale standardized, right? It's all of feeling based. Some people have a high pain threshold and tolerance. Some don't have that much, right? So for them, little pain is a lot of pain. For some, a lot of pain is not much pain. So, but how do a doctor know? Doctor just asks them, how much pain do you have? 0 to 1 or 0 to 10 level. So based on the doctor give you medication. So sometimes what happens is, based on genomics, DNA, we are not metabolizing morphine the right way. Some metabolize faster, some metabolize slower. So if depending on how much level of pain you have, if you're metabolizing slower, it means you have more morphine in your blood. So, but doctor doesn't know that. So doctor is going to give you another dose again. So what does it? It leads to side effect, potential addiction, and over medication. So genetics can help solve the problem. So my data are, a patient comes to me, patient complains. So it means a subjective complaint of the patient. I have shortness of breath, I have chest pain, I have heart racing, I am feeling dizzy. So those are feelings. So then I have to look at objective data. Then I have to have some feeling, okay, Nico might have this problem, or Entresto might have this problem. Now let me try this test. And I may be right, I may be wrong. So right now we do stress testing, the cardiac stress test we do. It's only 70% accurate.
70%?
70%.
Okay.
When we make people run on the treadmill, only barely 70% accuracy predicting any critical blockage in someone's heart arteries. It's a little better than flipping a coin. I'm sitting here, I can say that Mr. Bob has a heart disease, Mr. Smith does not have a heart disease, Susan has a heart disease, and Dasha doesn't have a heart disease. It's pretty much that much odds.
Yeah.
Flipping a coin. So you can add on some nuclear imaging that can get up to 89%. You're still not getting the 100% accuracy in the current data sets we have, the imagings we do. But now you can add on the genomics and you train AI, understand that, look, we understand accuracy of these data sets are limited, add on genomics data sets with it, then AI learns whole angle, every view possible, and come up with some predictions. I think in the future, a doctor that is practicing AI, using AI, will be the safer doctor and will be the better doctor. I'll be a better engineer, better accountant, better artist. So if anyone who's not using an AI will be left behind, because now they are more prone to errors. So if you're driving on the highway Deerfoot, and if everyone going at the same speed and same pattern of driving predictable, there's a very less chance of having a jam on Deerfoot, less chance of having any accident. It's a human factor that is the most variable, unpredictable, that triggers an accident, that triggers a jam. If the person going a little bit slow puts too many brakes there, too much time, and everyone puts to put a brakes there. And now things will start back up. So what AI can do is it can automate many of those things, remove humans where they're error prone in surgeries, in medical field, in accounting, financial, law, and you name it. I think we are entering a new era of revolution. We had a first revolution, industrial revolution, that changed how we live today. And imagine for next 50 years or 100 years, it'll be totally different. New jobs will be created, old jobs will be gone. So people who know AI, who work with AI, robotics will be in our life. We are going to get a coffee Robots will be serving coffee to us.
happening in Japan.
If you see,
Yeah.
so you're ordering food. Robots are bringing food to you in the restaurant these days already. You'll see robots helping you in the home. Robots doing your healthcare checkup, your blood testing. So all of those things will be happening through robotics. Robots do ultrasounds, robots do X-rays, CTs. You'll not have that much human interactions at that time.
AI is a tool.
It is a tool. It's an assistant.
Yeah.
So think of this
Assistant, yeah.
exactly. It's your assistant and is helping you. It's your medical office assistant, your art assistant. Just assist, going to give you an idea, quickly make you more creative. Like if I have to make a presentation and I need to make it, I can ask an AI to come up with some ideas. So, but presentation is still mine, right? The way I'm going to speak to my say investors or my patients, but in the end, my time is saved. So I'm more productive. Now people are paying attention. They are saying, look, I don't mind paying extra money, but I want doctor to spend time with me. So we call personalized medicine, concierge medicine. So those trends are now coming back. People want more time with the doctor, less time with the technology. So using telemedicine or telehealth, we are visiting people's homes. So that is also a trend, using a technology, but now visiting you wherever you are. So you don't have to come to see a doctor at that time. So I do believe, I think the human touch will always be there. Human interaction will always be there. And I think it's a transition of the technologies. But I do believe those trends will grow significantly because humans want to talk to humans. You should not care about investment into a stock or the bond or the clothing or the housing. Yes, you need them. But if you don't have a health, they're useless. You could have millions of dollars in your bank account. If you're not healthy today to enjoy those $1 million, it's useless. So if you want to invest money, invest in your health. Eat food like your medicine. Drink food like your medicine. So you don't need that many medications later on. Technically, doctors are not allowed to help the patients in some part of the world because they believe there's a conflict of interest. Like why a doctor is trying to get them the medicine or pay the medicine. Used to, doctors help the patients and get the medicines, and if they don't have a coverage, becoming difficult. And doctor lives are also becoming difficult at the same time. Me as a doctor, we do create a charity called Dil Walk Foundation. Dil means heart in Hindi and Punjabi. So we made this foundation where we do help people living in Canada, Alberta, especially Calgary, where they're getting accessing services through nurse practitioners or the services from pharmacy. We are subsidizing whatever we can. So it's a non-for-profit initiative run by our family. But many doctors don't have the resources, don't have the time. So they do help whatever they can, but there's limitations. And I do feel for the patients. Drugs are becoming more and more expensive, and they need more and more drugs. Every time they go to a doctor, the doctor adds more drugs. So now it's becoming more complex in itself, right? Polypharmacy, the word got coined. We are taking multiple pharmacies same time, pharmaceuticals. So that's why it's now more critical for us because patients don't have enough money. Drugs are expensive, the cost going up, the number of drug costs going up. Now we really have to be cautious that we use pharmacogenomics because we only have a limited amount of resources. And if you have the right tools, right science now, give the right drug. So the money the patient has, spent the right way. So if you give the drug today, it doesn't help the patient ends up wasting $500 in a year, it's wrong, the money gone. Yeah. That money could have used for buying a fruit, buying a bread, buying something else, buying a gym membership. Yeah. So I think time has come today that pharmacogenomics should be the standard in Canada, should be the standard in Alberta. Without that, there should not be any drug dispensed or prescribed to the patient. That should be the minimum standard because it saves money in patient's hand. It avoids them extra side effects and avoid this whole more and more drugs added. So make sure the patient gets the right information, the right drug at the right time, the right dosages. Remove the guessing game because you only have a limited amount of money with the patient's pocket. So time has come that everyone has to sit down, and in fact the government has to step up. The government has to say that yes, pharma care should be there, But if the pharmaca is used less because taxpayer money is going to be wasted again on the same drugs which patient get prescribed, they will not respond. You can give $1 trillion coverage to Canadians, it'll be still useless.
Because we're still getting that general care,
General care.
not specific.
Exactly. And so instead of wasting billions of dollars on pharma care, on generic medication, generic health care, make it pharmacogenomics-based health care. So now patient will, exactly, they will only need the drugs they need, not everything else.
Yeah.
And they will take it, they're going to live longer, they'll have the less side effect, and economy is going to grow. So we become strong as a country. We do have a genomic lab in Calgary where we do DNA sequencing, cancer sequencing, pharmacogenomics, microbiomes. We look at the gut, skin, oral, vaginal. We look at epigenetics. We can tell the biological age of the person and what is their actual age, how is their body is reacting versus their chronological age, the age on their passport. So we do all of those research and development in Calgary.
What's the biological age and what's the difference between the chronological age, just for
users? Yeah, so the biological age is the actual age of your body. So chronological age is the date of birth given when you're born. Okay. So on your passport. So that's a chronological age. So you could be 40-year-old and you could be 50-year-old, but how old is your body? So if you look around your friends who were same age, some may still look old, some are looking younger than you. So it means some are aging slower, some are aging faster. So their body is aging, even though chronologically they all are 40 years of age. Okay. So that's their biological age. So biological age, body is aging fast. If someone is developing heart disease in their 30s and 40s, their body is aging faster. If someone is losing all their hair in the 20s, the body is aging faster. So if you're getting more wrinkles on your face than your friends, your body is aging faster.
That's a good research opportunity right there for genetics. What genes cause hair loss?
But there are, we know that there are certain genes that are linked to the loss, and how the hormones goes down, how androgens and the things play a role. So everything, we understand how the body ages, right? So we have the maximum peak of our hormones in our late teens to early 20s. Then they slowly they start to go down, and we start to lose muscle mass. We start to make some abdominal fat. We start to lose hair. We start to develop more depression, more insomnia. So all those things play a role. So old age is a disease. If you can slow down the old age, and we call longevity, so you can live longer, the healthiest. So this way you're not living life like this. Okay, you have a healthy life of 30 years, you develop diabetes, and then slowly but slowly developing kidney failure, and some liver failure, and then side effect, and you're dying. So this is how the trajectory of the human life is these days. It's wrong. Human life trajectory should be healthy the longest, 70 years, 80 years, some disease, and done. So we'll be more productive. Line, yeah. Exactly, we should be straight line. We should not be going like this and all the way dragging ourselves down. So that's what longevity is. That's what genomics, this research and development we are doing in this area. So we want to see how we can keep people healthy the longest and avoid the side effects and also prevent the diseases. So we come up with an ideas, we test them in our lab, hypothesis, some volunteers step up, some patients get healthcare services through us, they pay for it. So through those experiments and learnings and what was getting published internationally in peer-reviewed journals. So we look at all of those things and we publish too. So we share the knowledge with other scientists globally. So it's all learning mutually and trying to move this area of health sciences forward. Everyone should get the whole genome done. Everyone should get DNA sequencing done. It's a minimum standard, okay? If you one test, you did it in life. You'll never have to do it again. And now you should be considering it done at birth level or whenever you can, or for your parents who may be dying, and keep a copy of the DNA as a part of inheritance. So once they're gone, they're gone. I do believe in epigenome plays a huge role. DNA is a one part of the story, but what in the environment that makes the genes react the way they act? We are still learning. Okay. But many things we know. If you are going to drink plastic every day, if you're going to eat plastic every day, and people say, I don't eat plastic, I don't drink plastic. No, you are eating and drinking plastic every day. Why? Because if you're heating in a plastic containers, if you're drinking coffee in a plastic containers,
The plastic water bottle.
plastic water bottles, or the coffee cup you got it from the coffee shop, it has a plastic lining inside. Maybe a paper cup outside is a plastic lining inside. You're getting a Coke can, there's a plastic lining inside. So plastic is coming in your diet, you just don't see it. So minimize the plastic, because what the plastic going in your body is impacting your hormones. It is causing puberty in girls early on. It is leading up to premature menopause, early aging in women health. It is messing up with male hormones, causing impotence. In fact, the same plastic can be found in testicles. Same plastic can be found in the arteries of the neck and the heart arteries now. So the plastic is the biggest environmental factor right now threatening the human life. It's very important to have more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet every day, at least 5 to 10 times a day, if you truly want to live longer, right? So you make sure you drink lots of water. Hydration is very important. Many people don't drink enough water. And it's very important to sleep well, right? Many people are not sleeping as well. You need to sleep for 7 hours a day. So your body needs to readjust. You need to have your circadian rhythm properly set that way. Sometimes people use melatonin. Over time, the aging melatonin requirement happens. That's okay. It is found to be anti-inflammatory in many different areas. So many people use some supplements, but knowing is very important, not just saying the names out. I think understanding what we are deficient of. If you are deficient of by using various analyses, microbiomic testings, genomic testings, and other testing you can do, then you can start to supplement. Then it's more beneficial. If you're supplementing it without being deficient, you may be wasting your money and not having any benefit. So making sure your food should be good, should be fresh fruits and vegetables, eliminate hyper-processed foods or any extra processed food there in your diet as much as you can, and eliminate plastic in your diet. And if you truly want to live longer, make sure you exercise every day. 15 minutes of weight, 15 minutes of cardio minimum needed. Sleep plays a huge role mental health wise, and our body to reset, to help reduce inflammation in our body. Sleep is very important. 7 hours has been shown to be consistent in the longevity science, and anything less than 6 hours is dangerous. So you make sure you get a good sleep. Yes, there will be some times and you're sleeping 5 hours, 6 hours, working hard, but over time there's a sleep deficit happens. Your body is now missing sleep. So if you keep pushing, then the time will come with a breaking point. Your body cannot handle mentally or physically. So that's where you start to having issues in the body, developing some diseases along the way. So listen to your body. If you need sleep, get a sleep on the weekend, maybe catch up whatever you can. It's very important.
I wanted to ask you what started this whole journey into medicine. Was there maybe a family member that was also into medicine?
No, my dad had a small pharmacy.
Okay.
That's maybe the only exposure I can think of. He's the first medical linked profession in our families. But I think subconsciously I was meeting people and people who need a helping hand in India, Punjab, growing up. So somewhere along the way, I got intrigued by human body and desired to seek answers and try to help people. So that's what pushed me limit. I do believe so. Entrepreneur people are positive people. They are the ultimate positive people you'll ever find. Why? Because they are believing in something no one believes. And there is there's money, they want to make money, they want to live life and make their family happy. But internally in their own, in their desire is to do something cool, something unique, something successful. They're positive mindset people, entrepreneurs. So somewhere along the way, when you grow up in those positive families and you want to meet with those same positive kind of people, I guess that boosts your morale, that boosts your energy.
Yeah, I assume that explains a lot of it. I wanted to ask you from again when you chose, okay, this is what I want to do. I also saw that you went to university in Russia. What was that like? How does it compare to education, your fellowships that you do in the US and then the education in Canada?
There is a huge difference. Russia, beautiful country and amazing people, and I lived about 7 years, roughly, in Siberia, among all the places.
Here, kind of like here, the weather.
Well, worse than from here some days. So, but beautiful people, beautiful people, and they open up their hearts. They're warm. I've been to their homes for parties, celebrations. So the medical school system was public at that time. We got exposed to different kinds of medicine, some natural medicine they try, some of the advances they have in the sports medicine area, into Olympics and other areas. So we got exposed to those things, which we don't see much happening in the Western side. Limited resources push you to innovate more. So I did learn the value differently than growing up in India. So then I moved to Canada or in the USA, what I saw we have a lot of technologies and a lot of resources. So we have to use resources differently than Russia was using or India was using. So somewhere along the way, it opened up my mind. It gave me the different perspectives. I do believe doctors probably trained here in Canada lack that, or doctors trained in India lack that, because they only know about their own region, about their own ecosystem.
Doctors in India and then doctors in Canada only know about doctors in Canada.
Exactly. So they only know the ecosystem. They've been trained that way. They only comfort their thought process is based on that, the ecosystem they grew up with or the environment they're working with. If you travel internationally, if you work internationally, you pick up insights which are usually are not available nearby. So that's what helped me grow as a doctor. That helped me grow as a human. And I loved spending time in Russia, in India, or in America, or in Canada. It made me a better person. In India, doctors have to handle hundreds of patients a day because volume is high. There's no record keeping. There's no health record system. There is no bureaucracy involved because there's lots of demand. They don't have enough time to keep writing the notes and charting. So here in this part of the world, because we are afraid of lawsuits, we are afraid of penalties and malpractice issues, afraid of so many things. So doctors have become the typist. So now we type our note and keep dictate and keep typing. So we have less interaction with the humans. We have more interaction with the computer these days in Canada. So Russia was somewhere in between. So they were keeping paper record system at that time. Now the electronic coming in. So a patient would carry their own records with them wherever they go. So I would write a note in the chart, and from their birth till whatever the age they are in, everything what had happened to them, the reports were there. Their X-ray report, the ultrasound report, the medication they've been given. I could review them, their vaccinations, and sign my notes also in the same chart. And the patient will carry it. So yeah, so there was the actual patient-owned data. Actually, in patient's hand, that data was there. It wasn't doctor's hands. So there was different perspectives. So I do believe, I think the medicine has to be more human-based. We should have more human interaction in medicine, and we should provide a more comprehensive care looking at environmental factors, and we should get away from these typist roles of the doctors which you have created. When I was learning medicine, my goal was at that time to understand what are the common reasons people are dying, and is any behavior change, anything I can do that can help them, make them live longer. So cardiology always ranked higher when I was comparing it to GI, respiratory medicine, neurology, dermatology. So the real difference we can make someone's life and death is through cardiology. The more larger impact we can do at a mass level. So somewhere along the way, I got impressed the innovation that was happening, and impressed with the colleagues, with the work they were doing. So that helped me try various things, and then I started to learn cardiology, became a cardiologist along the way. So this is how it was. I graduated from high school, and I applied for medical school in India. I got admission in the way South India, further away from my hometown. I had to take a 2 or 3 day of train journey to get there, and didn't have money to pay for the flights, obviously. So versus I got on a scholarship then when applying for medical school in Russia. So that was because India and Russia have a close relationships, and so they were providing subsidies for Indian students to study there, and so that was because my parents didn't have that much money or the resources to fund me. So it was very important for me to get some kind of support from from the academic circles. So that was helpful for me to get to the Russian. I applied for Russian medical school in Irkutsk, Siberia. So I got accepted. So we were still living in a hostel or dormitory and living with Russian students along the way. So I was studying with other Russian students. There were 1 or 2 foreign students in the same group of the classes along the way. So it allowed me to upgrade my Russian language, understand the culture. They would understand how I live. So we became very close friends and colleagues still today. So it was quite an amazing and learning experience. It was out of my comfort zone. I didn't know any language when arriving in Russia.
Different culture.
Totally different culture. Totally. First time on a plane was a flight to Moscow. I never been on a plane before. I was 5.5 years in Siberia.
5.5.
Then from there I went to St. Petersburg, Leningrad.
Okay.
So I did my clinical coordination, clinical subordination, or internship kind of there, and there 1.5 years. So I was there, and from 1.5 years.
1.5.
Yeah. So then total about 7 years. So I came to Canada. My wife, so she was working as a dietitian in Lethbridge. So imagine from Europe, from St. Petersburg, one of the most beautiful cities, to Lethbridge. Lethbridge is beautiful too, nothing wrong against Lethbridge. So, but a small, tiny town.
City to a town.
Exactly. So there I was got enrolled into university program. I learned how the computer sciences, information technology, MIT, and did my certification in that area. I was supposed to do a degree, but then I applied for residency programs, got my exams done, and started my internal medicine residency in Edmonton, University of Alberta, my cardiology in Winnipeg. Then in a Cleveland clinic, I did my vascular medicine training, then came back to Canada to work here. So I still remember when I applied for cardiology position, I got a cardiology residency in Winnipeg. I applied in Alberta. Calgary didn't accept my application. And then Edmonton, I was going for an interview. They accepted me for my interview in Edmonton. I was trained in internal medicine. And just an hour before, I got a message that my interview is canceled because the system said he cannot apply for cardiology. So he can apply for something else, but not cardiology.
And that's your thing. Cardiology is your thing.
Yes, and then I'm a cardiologist. You see?
How many, do you remember who you had to talk to? Do you remember who you had, how many phone calls did you have to make?
It's a lot of pressure. So when you are when your desire is the common good for everyone and equal playing field for everyone, because you're going to help Albertans, help Canadians get better health care. And you are going to speaking against the hierarchy of the system. So you're challenging the status quo, which has been there for decades. So of course the struggles are there, but I was blessed in a way. My program director, Dr. Peter Hamilton, if anyone I owe anything in my life, I owe him. Dr. Peter Hamilton in University of Alberta. And he stood by me. Such a genuine, honest person. And he said, Anmol, you're not wrong. And you are a superstar resident. I'm proud of you. And you are not saying anything wrong. And I'll stand by you.
What a change.
Yes.
A change that you were able to make.
Yeah, so because he stood by me, gave me the courage to challenge the status quo. So you always need someone to help you.
And he was also in cardiology?
No, he was a nephrologist. Yes, kidney is very smart.
Kidney is
Very smart. Kidney is smart. So kidney manages so many things, and how it does it, even many people don't understand it yet. It's a very complicated system.
Well, it's the one who cleans the blood,
Everything. It just manages your blood pressure. It manages your hormonal balance. It manages many things.
That's right. The hormones.
Yes. Yeah.
Hormones are super crucial in kidneys. I forgot that part about bio.
That's okay. I'm a doctor. That's why I have to remember.
So you moved to Lethbridge. I know that was this around the time where you started this medical clinic down by Medicine Hat?
No. So Lethbridge, I was doing my information technology degree, and then the residency in Edmonton and Winnipeg. So the Medicine Hat clinic came around right before COVID came.
So
it's very recent. Okay. So it was also again a desire of one of the cardiologists who works there in Medicine Hat, and he was doing locums. He was doing part-time work. Locum means. and he was training in Canada, in Calgary, in cardiology. He was doing some part-time shift work in Medicine Hat. And he came and said, Anmol, I'm seeing that medicine people are dying earlier. They have the worst outcomes in Alberta. It's Alberta Health data, AHS data. And why? Because there's no cardiology service, advanced cardiology services. And there's only one hospital. Doctors lack access. Everyone is concentrated to Calgary. And we need to help do something for this large area. Over 100,000 people live there. Seniors live there. And we don't have an access. So
people live outside of the city.
Exactly. So he came to me and he said, okay, I said, definitely want to help you, but we need to see, we have a local doctor interested. Do they want me to help them? I'm here to help them. So then few doctors stepped up. They said, yes, we will be ready to come on board. So we formed a company. Then the technologies I was using in Calgary. So we deployed some of those them in Medicine Hat. Obviously the system challenge there. So system, we're not used to having advanced cardiac center opened up immediately. So system had to fight back. The doctor had to fight back with the system there. Again, it never stops. So the same way I'm fighting today with the genetics and genomics or pharmacogenomics, the same way. Story is identical, no difference. System knows they need to practice pharmacogenomics. System knows it is going to help live longer. System knows it's going to help Albertans or Canadians have better quality of life. It saves money. But there's a reluctance in a system to adopt. So same with the reluctance in Medicine Hat. So now they all are happy, but we had to take a step. So now they have better health outcomes. So they have equal access. So all this desire, where my desire was to help Albertans and Canadians where I'm living, where my home is, with a better healthcare service I can provide. If I have a knowledge, I have a power, why not?
In the medical field, what was your first business then?
In the medical field, opening up a first clinic, advanced cardiology in Calgary. That was the first business we started, which helped me create many more businesses along the way. I still remember when we opened up a clinic in Northeast Calgary, there was no referrals coming in. There's no patients coming in. So now I'm waiting as a doctor, clinic is open. How do people know that I am working? So I took my own referral pads and introduced myself to the doctors. So my name is Anmol Kapoor, I'm a cardiologist, I open my practice, please refer patients to me. So then this is how the marketing was happening. My wife was also helping. My daughter was born around that time, so she would carry in her baby seats along the way to distribute referral pads. So this way people know that's my husband's business. So, and I still remember, so when people would call, I pick up a phone. We didn't have a receptionist, so she didn't come. So then I pick up a phone. This is Dr. Kapoor's office. I don't say I'm Dr. Kapoor speaking. So Dr. Kapoor's office. Okay, we want to book an appointment, this and that. Okay, let me see, sir. Let me book an appointment for you.
Yeah, you put on a high-pitched voice so they recognize you.
Exactly. So I was a receptionist for my own business. You have to do what you have to do. I'm lucky. I have a good team players. I have two great team members. I have many of them in clinic, biotechnology companies, blockchain company, AI companies. So just good leaderships I was able to identify. I was able to nurture them and grow them into our companies. And they make me who I am today. So they look after regulations, they look after the innovation, they look after launching technologies, they look after everything of those areas now.
I wanted to ask you, did this clinic evolve into Charm?
Yeah, so Charm was a charitable initiative we started. So that is for our charity, Dilwag Foundation. That was also again a common good, which I believed, but the system didn't believe.
So what does Charm stand for?
So Charm stands for the Community Heart Failure Assessment and Rehabilitation Clinic. Alberta has over 60,000 admissions every year to hospitals because of heart failure. And every time anyone admits to a hospital with heart failure, on an average, they end up staying around 7 days in the hospital. And the more often they end up going to the hospital, the earlier they die. Okay? The patient with the heart failure have worse outcome than the breast cancer patients. Okay, it's a data, it's a fact. So, but there's no community clinic created at all to manage them out of the community hospital. So there's no funding available from the government. So looking at it, many of my patients were suffering. They were going back to system again and again, and a system was just kicking them out again and again. Uh, it didn't gel well with me. So it's like we have to find some better way. So we created this charm clinic, charitable initiative, 100% charitable. Not a single dollar came from the government, and we hired LPNs, licensed nurse practitioners, and we trained them. Then they were given responsibility to manage over 500 heart failure patients in the community. This charm clinic, unfunded, 100% charitable. People may be shocked to hear, yes, there are charitable clinics in Canada. So where we saved hundreds of hospitalizations, and millions of dollars and thousands of bed days in the hospital. If you don't innovate, if you don't push it forward, my hope was that the government will take this initiative, learning from this pilot, which was unfunded, funded by me, and some donations from the community, and hopefully they will learn from it and replicate across Alberta. But I didn't see happening. So charity came 2011. So first clinic I opened our advanced cardiology in 2011. So when I opened up a clinic, we founded charity around the same time. Because tomorrow money I'm going to earn, that will go to our charity that is going to help the people.
That's a lot of roles. That's a lot of roles that you play.
Yes.
Because you're also, I believe, the president of cardiology.
I am the co-founder, the founder of cardiology clinics.
Okay.
Alberta Cardiology in Edmonton, Southern Alberta Medical in Medicine Hat, Advanced Cardiology in Calgary. So, but then we have Cardi AI, company that deals into artificial intelligence and cardiology related tests we are looking to launch next year. BioArrow. Then we have a blockchain company. We have a quantum-based technologies. We have multiple now things coming. Time is very precious commodity. And if anything, I put a value in the time. I want to make sure my time is properly used, like I'm interacting with you, is properly used. So I like to learn and read and like to innovate. So anything, something I love, I'm going to find time. Something that I believe in, that is going to help people, I will going to find time. It all started from COVID. So we were in Cardi AI. We had developed a small chip that can detect biomarkers at home. So we wanted to manufacture it. COVID hit. We realized that our technology can help detect COVID viruses. So we wanted to get it manufactured. The technology we built, no factory can manufacture globally. So then we realized our team have a talent that we can use some of the chemistry knowledge into COVID detection. So we launched the world's fastest COVID PCR test called CoviLamp, and we deployed it in Canada. So we are getting PCR reports in 30 minutes. Yep. And again, system has own system, and we are doing out of the system our own things.
Because I know the test was the one where you scrub your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, PCR machines. So it could be saliva based. We created the test ourselves, validated the test ourselves, and saliva based or swab based. So then we were running those samples, testings in Calgary. Winnipeg Airport was my client. De Beers Diamond Mine up north was my client. In fact, we end up creating a separate COVID lab for them in the mine.
In the mine.
In the mine.
Those were a thing, even in movie sets. Yeah, for a while, COVID labs.
Yep, COVID lab. So we were helping the movie system. Yeah. We were helping Sony, Netflix, Disney. They were all our clients. So in Alberta, most movies were running, or the shows, HBOs and all of those things. So we provided them the testing.
Well, yeah, I remember when I worked on The Last of Us, they had their own COVID team. And the COVID team went around checking that everything.
Yeah, so they will collect samples, then they send samples to us for processing.
Okay, gotcha. And then what separated your tests from other tests?
Because we were fast, we were more accurate, and faster than the government test. So they could get the report within 2-3 hours.
2 to 3 hours?
Yep. Digitally report verified and sent to them. And the government test coming back. Remember that there was a hotel jail People used to go to the jail for 3 days, waiting for the report.
Like the quarantine.
Yeah, so I call jail. So the paid jail, 3 days you have to stuck in the jail. So you're volunteering for the jail. So there was a time people could get out of the jail if you get a negative test. But the airports, except the Winnipeg airport, other airports had a control of some other system. So people were stuck in the jail. So, but the people who had private planes, private jets, they could avoid the jail time. So how they could do is they would have to land in Calgary, and they land in Calgary, and then our team member will go to the plane, collect the COVID sample, run the sample in 1 hour, become negative. Now they don't have to go to jail. So then they go fly anywhere in Canada, and they go back home. So then we became kind of pirates of the system. So then all the private jets across Canada will arrive in Calgary. So they land in Calgary, so coming from USA, and get the COVID test negative, then they go back home to Toronto or Vancouver.
Tell me about the first year of BioAero. What were you guys focused on?
Well, first year the focus was we bought the machine for the whole genome sequencing, whole DNA analysis. None of my team knew how to do it. Same way we didn't know how to do COVID testing. We didn't know. So many things we didn't ever knew. So this is honest, we didn't know. The desire is that we have to do it. No one has done it. People we know they don't know how to do it. So okay, let's get the machine. We'll learn. So that is the biggest challenge. So many times I would ask the team, is the right machine? Is it an okay machine? What do you think about the machine? No one knows the knowledge. You're blind guiding a blind. But the desire was there to learn. Desire was to experiment. The first year all went about learning the machine, how it works, how the data comes in.
How big is the machine?
Well, machines are bigger machines. It's big supercomputers. It's massive. But how do you do the process? How the data comes in? How do you analyze the data? It's a huge task. I still remember when my first whole genome got analyzed, my first DNA, my employee being a company. So my employees took them 3 months to make a report for me. It was 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, for my own report.
You've developed that app and everything.
So now it's real time. I build the technology very fast. We are the only company globally that have the technology. No one has the technology panomic. We are making this new standards. Our technologies are making the new guidelines, helping. Okay, we have filed over 100 patents, and we are continue to file more patents every month. So the innovation we are doing, there's no company like BioAero group of companies globally right now. We are unleashing power of genomics on the sports field.
Okay.
So we are spinning out few companies out of my umbrella. So one company is called the biosport.com. So in the biosport, we are going to use power of DNA and microbiomics and tell a sports person or a woman or men about what is their potential. So first rule out there is for heart disease, sudden death for them on the field. And second, tell them the type of muscle fiber they are born with it and the type of strength they are naturally born with it. They're good in endurance or speed or power or muscle building, how the recovery time will be from the injuries. So all this data will be given to them through mobile application. The AI will make them customize exercise programs and train them. So this way they stay healthiest the longest on the field. So that's why if you look at it, why Usain Bolt was the fastest man? Why not other people? So why Michael Phelps was the fastest swimmer? Why not other swimmers? Why Zidane was an amazing footballer, not other people? Why Messi is Messi? Why Ronaldo is Ronaldo, right? Why not other people of their colleagues of the same time retired earlier?
Do you find that sometimes you can't change the trajectory of the disease, like in the genes that it will happen? Say, for example, Huntington's disease.
Yes.
Great example.
You can change the trajectory of any disease.
Yeah?
Yes. If you catch earlier.
If you catch it early.
Yes.
Okay. Like something that's so predisposed genetically and going like Huntington's.
Yep. You can now inhibit the gene. Sickle cell anemia is a history now. In next 50 years, people used to talk about it. Oh, once upon a time there was a disease called sickle cell anemia. Why? Because now we can gene edit that and stop the gene expression.
Okay.
We can edit these genes safely now.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. That's so exciting.
Yeah. So by accepting, look, oh, I inherited something from my parents, no one can change anything, that's defeatism. The defeatism, many doctors have that too. You're born with something, I can't change anything, take this medication. It's a wrong ideology.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. It's already defeated. Already you have given up. You're not even paused, you're not even thinking you want to push a limit of science. So in BioAero, we don't give up. We don't give up on science, and we don't give up on or anyone. If you ask me, Canada does not even cut the top 20 countries globally in healthcare innovation. So if there was no BioAero at a global level, there's no Canada in precision medicine. There's no Canada in genomics. There's no Canada in pharmacogenomics or AI or quantum science in healthcare. Just because of BioAero, Canada is recognized globally now. And so it's just far behind Canada is, you can imagine. From Dubai, they have this spirit called impossible is nothing. They want to push limit of everything. Either they want the biggest building, they want to do the biggest gardens, the biggest beaches, they want everything the best. This desire to be the best. Same thing, they have desire to be best in healthcare. They don't want to continue to use the same system, the legacy system. They want to push the limit. And the environment is there. People also want the same thing too. And they want the best healthcare outcomes and best access possible. So that the environment motivates us to invest money in there, invest resources there and time there in the region. Saudi Arabia, look at it. If you go to Saudi Arabia, they are growing exponentially. There's a huge economic boom happening in that region. And in the construction industry, into the AI, into quantum science, healthcare, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, you name it. Every sector is booming in that part of the world right now. So much investment happening in that area. Canada is behind.
So lots of opportunity to grow.
Yes, from a regulation side too. So we limit our doctors here. We scare them. We make them afraid to order testing. We make them afraid to try the new test or try the new approach. We shut them down. In UAE or Middle East, they don't shut them down. You're doing safely, do it safely, but push the limit. It's okay. Patient agrees, you agree, push the limit. As long as it's safe. Yeah. Genomics is a new science. Look at Switzerland, look at France, Germany, Finland. They're all pushing limit. Look at Spain. Spain will not even cut the top European economies. But Spain is being the first country, they made a pharmacogenomic library. And they want to implement pharmacogenomics whole countrywide. To me, success is not money. To me, success is achieving the innovation, make it real, make it affordable for people, that democratizing access to healthcare, the technologies, instead of limiting the technology access to elites of the globe, making affordable and easier for the people. That's a success for me. So I want to level the playing field. So if I can do that, that's success for me.
Yes. I've got one last question for you. If you had one word to describe yourself, which one would it be?
Disruptor.
Disruptor? That's a good one. We haven't heard that one before. And I can definitely see that with your story of just, again, going up against the system and wanting to change, wanting to innovate, always looking for what's next, what's around the corner. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to sit down here, speak to us. It was a great journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you later on the next episode of Authentically Albertan. Stay authentic.